Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. They seem to have departed, but before I begin, I wanted to ask you all to give a hand to our talented musicians from the Phillips Academy Jazz Band. Where did you guys go? There you are, thank you. Krishna Canning from the class of 16, Thomas McWilliams from the class of 18, and the son of my classmate, Brett Sauka from the class of 17. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. My name is Peter Currie. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees, and it is my great privilege on behalf of the board to start our program today. Today is May the 6th. It will be remembered as the day that we dedicated this wonderful building. It also happens to be the 187th anniversary of the first day of classes at Abbott. Who knew? Today, we will celebrate a legendary Andover administrator and leader, Rebecca Miller Sykes. And we will officially dedicate the new Wellness Center, so fittingly named in her honor. Thank you, Becky, first and foremost, for being with us today. We're all so glad that you and your family are here, including a grandson. Although the Oprah Winfrey Foundation is now the beneficiary of Becky's grace and wisdom, she recently made time to return when Andover hosted the inaugural Independent Secondary School Health and Wellness Summit, a gathering of 150 educators from 65 schools. This was about 3 weeks ago, and it was down in Davis Hall, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a large group of people, and Ben Gardner, Dr. Ben Gardner is Exeter's physician and a member of our class of 66, and he was here. And Becky spoke, and her keynote remarks described the evolution of student health care, culminating in the integrated model for collaborative care practiced here today. Under Becky's guidance, Phillips Academy took a leadership role in developing the whole student, whole community approach to wellness that the Sykes Wellness Center represents and enables. I also want to extend a special welcome and thank you to a few of our distinguished guests today. Nancy Sizer, wife of the late Ted Sizer, who was my head of school, and our 12th head of school. Thank you, Nancy. Don McNamara, our 13th head of school, and his wife, Britta. And Barbara Chase, our 14th head of school, and her husband, David. Please join me in welcoming them. It's wonderful to have you here on this important day for Andover as we honor Becky Sykes, whose Andover tenure remarkably connects all of yours, along with that of our current head, John Palfrey. In addition, I'd like to thank my fellow trustees for your presence today and for your unwavering support of this project from day one. And it actually was at John's very first trustee meeting that we all wrangled with how to improve wellness and treat the whole kid. And so from the point of view of John and me in this administration, it was a day one project and a spot one priority. So the Rebecca M. Sykes Wellness Center represents a major milestone for acting on Andover's strategic plan, particularly its empathy and balance pillar. I especially want to recognize Charter Trustee Chen Lee, class of 71, and ex officio Trustee Tom Israel, class of 62, for their exceptional leadership as co-chairs of the Sykes Wellness Center Fundraising Committee. Tom couldn't be with us today. His presence is most certainly felt. And Josh Steiner told us he had just been with Tom and he was looking well and getting well. But we certainly commemorate the culmination of all the work that he and Chen and many others did to encourage the gifts that made this building a reality. Speaking of those gifts, I also want to thank the generous donors who supported the project, many of whom are here with us today. Your gifts made a difference and helped move us closer to our goal, enabling us to start and complete this beautiful new facility on schedule, on budget, I should also add, and as envisioned. We could not have done this without each and every one of you. Thank you for representing and perpetuating Andover's non-civic credo through your enthusiastic support. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you for coming today. to look out here and see so many of you here, so many old friends, so many returning retired faculty, is a testament to the incredible strength, spirit, and camaraderie of this community. As Elwyn Sykes said to me this morning, there is no community woven quite like this. Which is a lovely, lovely phrase. It is now my pleasure to introduce our 15th head of school, John Palfrey. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, everyone, for being here. This is an important day at Andover, and a truly beautiful day. I had the chance to work with Becky Sykes for 1 full year, which was a joyous year and a wonderful gift to be able to work with her directly in that way. And I came to know that Becky Sykes can do anything. And these past few weeks, for anyone who's been on campus, and I'm thinking of Krishna and Brett and Thomas and Annette and Theo who are over here, everyone on campus knows that it has been raining for 2 weeks straight. And I now know that Becky Sykes can truly do anything because the sun came out, and it came out for you, Becky. Thank you for that extraordinary thing you've done. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you to the trustees who are here and have supported this project right from the start. Thank you to the Alumni Council who have gathered on this beautiful day to be with us. Thank you for all alumni, all parents, all faculty and staff. And thank you to our special guests to be represented alongside the 12th and 13th and 14th heads of school. This marks this beautiful day. Thank you for being here and honoring Becky, helping us to honor Becky on this important day. And thank you for helping us to honor the importance of wellness in secondary education more broadly. I want to make a group of other thank yous as well to all those who have worked so tirelessly on this project from its inception. That starts absolutely from trustees Chen Li and Tom Israel. My understanding is that this is being webcast at this moment right into Tom Israel's home. So Tom, we love you, we miss you, we wish you well, and we are so grateful to you. If we could have a big round of applause for Tom Israel and Chen Li, that would be great. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to each of the donors who saw in this vision something that was important for Andover to do, to make a combination of mental health and physical health in one place, central to campus, and to do so in honor of someone we love as deeply as Becky. Thank you for seeing that vision and for helping us make it a reality. Thank you to our friends at Shepley Bulfinch and the Consigli Construction Company. You designed a beautiful building fitting in with Bulfinch Hall, of course, creating quite literally a courtyard to which our students will be attracted, for bringing in the project on time and on budget. A project in honor of Becky Sykes that was not on time and on budget would not be a project in honor of Becky Sykes, and you brought it in, so thank you for that, a special important hallmark of this project. I'm grateful in particular to John Galanis and to our Director of Facilities, Larry Munch, and their entire team, and all those on the Sykes Wellness Center planning team. You are an extraordinary group. You made this seem easy. It was not easy, but it really is a wonderful project that you have brought to fruition. The Wellness Center Working Group in particular was led by our co-directors of wellness education, Amy Patel and Carol Israel, who will have the stage in a moment. You both are absolute exemplars of the teachers on this campus and leaders. Thank you for making this your life's work and doing it here at Andover. We're enormously grateful, and I'd love to have a round of applause also for this wonderful group. Amy and Carol and many others have worked extraordinarily hard. I suspect they will be the first to tell you that work was worth it, and they will tell you more about why it's so important. A very special welcome also to Becky Sykes' wonderful family and friends who have come from as far away as California, and of course from Louisiana, where Becky is also from. We are delighted that you're here to celebrate this moment with us and extend to you the warmest of Andover welcomes and welcomes back to those of you who grew up on this campus. To Becky Sykes' extended family, thank you and congratulations. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Becky herself. Becky, you are an amazing example of everything in my mind that is great and good about Andover and everything that is great and good about teaching young people. This building, I think, is the least that we could do to honor your legacy in this particular way. And the conversations about whether and how to honor you by putting your name on the front of this building were some of the shortest and most joyful conversations I've ever been involved in. The answer was, of course, we ought to name the Wellness Center for Becky Sykes. For everyone who has known her and has been taught by her and has been touched by her, Becky embodies quite literally what we are trying to signal with this building, and I can think of no better tribute that we could make. This building shows, I think, also, and through this event here, the reach that Becky has, the number of people she has touched from so many different walks of life, and the number of people who have come here to honor you and to be a part of this, Becky, I think speaks in volumes about what you mean to all of us. I'd like to close with a few numbers that might be a way to characterize what Becky has meant and done, and then she will have the podium and the chance to say a few words back to all of us. 40 is the number of years that Becky served Phillips Academy. 5 is the number of heads of school with whom Becky worked, and that includes, of course, the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th head of school. It also accounts for herself, when Becky was the acting head of school when Barbara went on sabbatical. 16,480. That is the number of students, right up through Annette and Theo and others, who will speak in a moment, who came through Andover during Becky and Ellen's career at Andover. And I'm quite sure that you touched every single one of them. 3 is the number of Becky and Elman's own children, Emmett and Elliot and Emerson. And they were active and wonderful parents, and we're grateful for that connection as well. 246. That is the number of donors to build this building. That is the number of people who said they wanted to honor Becky through giving money to Andover to put this building up. 75 is the span of years in Andover affiliation of the donors. Alumni going back to the class of 1945, all the way through parents and students from the class of 2019. 12,725,924 is the number of dollars raised in Becky's honor to fund this building's construction. And 1, the number of Becky Sykeses that are out there, and we're awfully glad that you're ours. Please welcome Becky Sykes to the podium.
Thank you, John and Peter and all of you. To paraphrase the words of the psalmist, while the words of my mouth may be inadequate, I hope that they will convey the meditations of my heart, that are the deeply felt gratitude to everyone who made this day possible, many of whom John identified. I think of my parents today, the late Ernest and Rebecca Miller. Daddy was a teacher, a coach, a principal in public schools in Shreveport, Louisiana. And Mama was a social worker and later a Head Start administrator for the parish. They're smiling down from heaven today. My father with his chest out, he's probably wearing a 3-piece suit, maybe even a Dobbs hat, I'm not sure. Or is it Dobson? Dobson, right? And he's telling everybody who will listen, all the angels are trying to find something else they need to do because my father is telling them about this wellness center. And my mother probably has her eye on little Otis, wishing she had lived another 5 years just so that she could give him a little hug today. My parents raised me and my sister Ernestine, who's here today, in the segregated South, and then with some trepidation, maybe a lot of trepidation, gave me their blessing to do 2 things that would have the greatest impact on the course of my life. They supported me when I decided to go 1,700 miles away from home to college in Massachusetts. And when I was a very stubborn 20-year-old and thought I knew everything and I was very grown up, they gave me away in marriage to my high school sweetheart, Elwyn Sykes. Elwyn and I left Cambridge in June of 1973, having completed work on our master's and bachelor's degrees, respectively. Then on August 28th of that year, Elwyn and I arrived in Andover in his Triumph TR6. The car was laden with our few worldly goods. And I remember it as if it were last night, taking that curve off of 125 onto 28. You've all done it. It's the feeling you have before you see the bell tower that makes you know you're coming back to Andover. Stott Cottage was our destination in 1973. In August of 2013, after a moving van took all of our accumulated belongings of 40 years, a very long moving van, after many hours of packing, Elwin and I climbed into his Audi A5 and drove away from the Phillips Academy campus. Like our marriage of 44 years, Elwin's love of rag tops persists. We had left before, and had always returned. But this time, there would be no turning back. It would be different. This time, a South African adventure lay before us, and there would be no turning back. As we left, there was only fondness and appreciation for two fulfilling careers. In the 40 years of affiliation with Andover, including the 3-year leave of absence in the mid-'80s, thank you, Don, to care for Elwin's elderly aunts in Shreveport, we were the beneficiaries of grace and mercy and abundance. Always and ever, someone believed in us and gave us a chance to grow into the opportunities we were given. We hadn't really earned them yet. In fact, today is proof that we continue to be the recipients of the grace of this community. Even the naming of the Wellness Center is a privilege I know I will spend the rest of my life working to earn. There's a saying attributed to Oprah Winfrey that seems apt. She said, "What material success does is provide you with the ability to concentrate on other things that really matter. And that is being able to make a difference, not only in your own life, but in other people's lives." So today, the anonymous donors who made the lead gift for a new center to house medical and psychological services and health education together, and everyone else who donated to the project, illustrates Oprah's point. That they have had material success is good for them. But what we celebrate today is that they exercised their will to do something that can benefit the lives of Phillips Academy students now and into the future. I must acknowledge that the naming of the Wellness Center is about more than an honor to one person. It's also an important symbolic gesture. Try to hold it together. As far as I'm aware, Andover is the only school among its peers that has named a building for an African American woman and faculty member. The decision to make this unprecedented move was taken 3 years before the U.S. announced that Harriet Tubman would appear on the $20 bill. So take that, the U.S. This is an historic moment for this institution and for all the people of color who work here and who've worked here and in schools like this one. Thank you for your leadership and your vision. Like the thousands of African Americans who migrated from the South during the 20th century, Elwin and I left Shreveport in the 1960s for the promise of better opportunities. Ultimately, the same factors motivating Isabel Wilkerson's 3 main characters in The Warmth of Other Suns had pushed and pulled us away from home and toward an unfamiliar environment and a vastly different culture, a place where discrimination and racism existed, for sure, but on a less overt scale, and where training and jobs seemed to be offered somewhat more fairly. In emigrating or migrating to Massachusetts and settling at Phillips Academy, did we realize our dreams? Not wholly, but certainly in all the ways that really mattered most. We had very good jobs, served with decent and principled people, and raised our 3 sons away from the violence and drug culture that were rampant in Shreveport. Did we strive to make a difference in the lives of others? Absolutely, we strived that way, but we may have fallen short on occasion, maybe on lots of occasions, but we certainly did our best. We did it with the tremendous help from allies along the way, many of you standing here. Are we grateful? Profoundly so. I have many people to thank, and although I may not mention everyone who deserves thanks by name, and in fact, maybe what I could say is, it's what he said. I do want to single out a few. Thank you to John Palfrey for your generosity of spirit and determination to see this project completed. To the trustees of Phillips Academy, led by Peter Currie, whose SWAT team of Tom, hi Tom, and Chen Lee made the center financially viable. Gary Lee, Allison Pycott, and Reggie Hayes for help to make the fundraising efforts more inclusive. Barbara Chase, my friend and mentor, for the years of laying the foundation for a new home for wellness. The anonymous donors, as well as those donors whose names adorn the plaques and the rooms inside, whose gifts are an investment in the lives and well-being of students for generations to come. Garrett Cater, Peter Ramsey, Tom Lockerbie, David Flash. I accused him earlier of, well, I won't say what I said to him. It wasn't really rude, because you guys know me, I don't use that kind of language. But I said, did you encourage or get all those parents to give all that money? And he said, I just made the opportunity available to them. So to all of those guys from the past and present in OAR and their colleagues, including Rebecca Jaragosian, and then others who have created and implemented the fundraising strategy. To Larry Munch, Nancy Jetton, and John Galanis for the building, planning, and project oversight. Amy Patel and Carol Israel for doggedly working through the design of a new facility and exciting program that would best serve the students. To my friends in the head of school's office, broadly, including Melissa Dolan behind the scenes, but also the person who really, really taught me how to use an assistant and how to miss one like crazy, Belinda Traub. Thank you, Belinda. Belinda, who not only was in league with Neil Angis and everyone in Aramark and the Andover Inn, and I'm sure OPP, for seeing to every detail and keeping their good humor, even when I kept calling or emailing for details. Adding one more person to the list, taking somebody off who couldn't come. Thank you. The Phillips Academy students who are shivering in the front, who've embraced the new hotel and are using it as we all had hoped. And finally, thanks to our children and our grandchildren and our daughters-in-law for their love. And really finally, thanks to Elwin for having brought me to Phillips Academy. And actually, he gave me this name, so it's really... And I also want to thank all of our family and friends who've come from Los Angeles, and I think watching from her sickbed with the flu is my friend from Las Vegas. Hi, Susie, and her husband, Pete, who couldn't make it. Salt Lake City, Brooklyn, Jamaica Plain, Boston, Dallas, Maryland, Vermont, Milton, Maine, Groton, Winchester, Pennsylvania, Andover, and Grantham. Elwin came from Grantham. And a few others from New Hampshire. Thank you for your love and support through thick and thin. Even my thick and thin. You guys haven't seen me go up and down. But through lots of thick and thin. And as we say at the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, choose to be well.
All right. You good to go?
Ready?
All right. Good day, good people. We are Theo Perez and Annette Bell, the two student body co-presidents for this year.
And we could not be more excited to be a part of the Sykes Wellness Center dedication.
When the school makes plans to construct a new building, they have to make some tough decisions on what to prioritize. What does the school need? Should we be spending money on a new gym, library upgrades, a large pizzeria? The possibilities are endless.
We are glad that the school has decided to prioritize the well-being of the students who now have an amazing and new, beautifully constructed building to go to.
The statement the school has made with the construction of the center is obvious. Its central location, functional versatility, and comfortable beanbag chairs clearly show that we have decided to display our dedication to wellness and our belief that all students should be considering their own well-being on a daily basis.
While we students are fortunate to live without facing many of the physical struggles that affect others throughout the world, the pressures of this institution and the culture that surrounds it can be taxing.
If we, as an institution, are to live up to what we preach and produce well-rounded students capable of pursuing a variety of paths, facing a diverse assortment of challenges, and supporting others throughout the world, it is of paramount importance that these students be taught how to prioritize themselves and how to manage and seek assistance for whatever problems might be ailing them.
We as students could not be happier to see this new and inviting wellness center.
Yeah. Well, actually, a pizzeria would have made me pretty happy, but as alternatives go, this isn't half bad.
On top of our amazing wellness center, we have an even more amazing person who it is named after. I have known Miss Sykes for the better part of 4 or 5 years, and thanks to my sister, I have heard stories for the last 7. Let's just say that Miss Sykes has a special place in the Bell family household and all those who have come in contact with her.
Whether or not they have actually met Miss Sykes, all future Andover students will get a little piece of her through their interactions with this wellness center. Although we are sad she's no longer on campus with us, we could not be more happy to have her legacy cemented into the foundations of the structure behind us.
Miss Sykes, thank you from all of us for giving so much to this community. It seems only fitting that the building responsible for keeping all of us well is named after you.
This structure marks a major step forward for us, and we are super happy that it is your name on the door.
Sykes Wellness Center is the 3rd building on Andover campus named after a female and the first major building to bear a woman's name. Ms. Sykes joins Harriet Beecher Stowe and Bertha Bailey in this honor.
This school is constantly evolving. Every year, we are faced with new challenges and have to decide how we want to move forward and grow.
Whether it be schedules, rule changes, the use of technology in the classroom, student wellness, or any of the thousands of possible challenges and changes in the world, we have an obligation to our students and to our name to put forth compelling solutions and developments.
I commend Andover for making a significant contribution to wellness on this campus.
This building is not a magical cure-all. Student wellness is still a complicated issue, and no edifice can change that. We hope that this center represents more than just an investment of resources, but rather a statement of intent, a testament to an evolving philosophy of student nurturing.
Be it matters of equity or of priority, it is important that we never become too complacent with where we are. As students, we must continue to make sure that the legacy of nurturing implied by Ms. Sykes and by this building lasts.
Many thanks to all the people who have made this building possible, and to all of you in the audience who cared enough about this development to come to the ceremony.
We are very grateful to have had the opportunity to speak with you all. Now it is our pleasure to introduce the dynamic duo, our co-directors of wellness education, our esteemed medical director, Dr. Amy Patel, and our director of counseling, Dr. Carol Israel. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
We're so lucky. We're just so lucky. Okay, more formal. On behalf of the entire Rebecca M. Sykes Wellness Center team, we want to thank everyone for coming today and for celebrating this special day.
Special thanks to Becky, without whom none of this would have been possible. And it is her spirit of kindness, compassion, and caring that pervades every part of this building.
Thank you to Peter Currie, the Board of Trustees, John Palfrey, and the administration for your unwavering support, like the very first thing you did, your partnership and your ongoing commitment to student health and wellness. And to Shepley Bullfinch, who designed a building that captured in its physical form the spirit of wellness, of beauty, and of health.
And to the students, thank you for receiving the building so enthusiastically and for taking full advantage of all it has to offer, for finding new and creative ways we did not even imagine for embracing our community's new space. Andover is setting the new standard for other schools to follow, and that commitment starts at the top.
We'd like to close by saying how deeply grateful and proud we are to be charged with overseeing this new wellness center and the continued care of our students. A center for care delivery, for healing, for education, and for community.
We are honored, though we have been living in this building for more than 5 months, to officially accept the Rebecca M. Sykes Wellness Center on behalf of the students and their families, faculty and staff, and the rest of the community who care so deeply about Andover and its future in wellness. Thank you.
All right, one last order of business. Congratulations to Amy and Carol. Congratulations and thank you to Theo and Annette for your beautiful remarks. And congratulations to Becky, of course, for the fact that we are now officially open with the Sykes Wellness Center. And Becky, it would not be complete, I think, today if we didn't leave you with a little something. So I wonder if you would come up. I have 2 small gifts, very, very small. You should not have anything for us. In fact, you've given so much to us. That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, so the 2 gifts are these. The first one is that anyone who's seen you knows that often you wear a charm bracelet around your wrist. And we thought that it was maybe 1 charm short. And this charm is a custom silver charm that shows the front of this building, so you can always wear it and remember this.
Thank you.
And this, I think, was Belinda Traub's idea, just to give credit where it's due. I know she handed it to her. She's a good one. Okay, here is the other one, which is another physical manifestation of this building. So this building is, of course, a down payment on all the great programs that we're going to have, right? But it's also a symbol in lots of ways. You mentioned some of the most important ways. Another very important way is that this building is a green building. It's a LEED gold building, which we're very proud of and excited about. And it's a building that has a green roof and so forth. But it also was a building that required knocking down a tree. We did this not, we're sorry about knocking down the tree. I'm sorry to the tree.
I know you did it very thoughtfully.
Tears involved and so forth. And it was a beech tree. But beech trees we thought could be regenerated and used for other purposes. So in a classic, I think, Andover fashion, there's an alumnus named Strother Purdy from the class of 1985, and we got this beech tree that was standing right here to him, and he has made it into a planter for you that says on it the Sykes Wellness Center, and it has a little bit of Andover in it just for you. Aww. Becky, we love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
Thank you. You're so kind.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations, and have a wonderful evening.